Hey everyone, so it's been a while, so let's just jump right back into things. Today I decided to do a rose gold summer peach tone look. I had a lot of fun with it and I hope you enjoy it as well. So if you want to see how to get this look, just keep watching. Starting off with my Urban Decay Primer Potion, I just put that all over my eyelids and a little bit underneath. Then I'm jumping into their electric palette and using the color Slow Burn in my crease. This is just going to help really make my orangey peaches pop. Going into Eyes on the 70s from BH Cosmetics, I'm using this e.l.f. setting spray to make the peach shimmer shade from this palette really stick and really shine nicely. I find that if I don't do this step, they tend to just wipe right off when I do blending, which is a very key part of doing my makeup. And I just repeated those two steps several times, adding slow burn, adding this shimmery peach, just so that the colors were as vibrant as I wanted them to be. Then I took this sort of rusty red color and added that on the outer corner and a little bit into the crease just to add a little bit more definition. Next, I used a warm brown to add a transition shade since I had forgotten to. And then I used this really soft pink. It's so soft, it's almost white. And I just put that in as a brow highlight. Then for underneath my lower lash line, I mixed the light and dark teal colors from the Eyes on the 70s palette, and I just swiped that under there. Again, I would repeat that step a few times. I would apply, blend, and reapply until the color was as defined as I wanted. And using my 88 color shimmer palette from BH Cosmetics, I used the lightest white that is in this palette, and I just put that in my inner corner as the highlight. Going on to liner, I used the Total Intensity Kohl liner by Prestige, and it's just a really nice coal black color. Then I took a really short, stiff brush and I just blended that out into my lower lash line a bit so it wasn't quite as harsh as it started out. And then I did go in and add some color back into it as well. Then for the upper lash line, I am using this Almay black liquid liner. And I'm just starting from one end, going to the other, as I always do, to make my winged liner. But as you can kind of tell, I was quite struggling with this today. So you're not alone in the winged liner struggles. I really, sometimes it's just ridiculous. I'm not quite sure what happens, but you just keep trying and it'll work itself out. And then there were some patchy spots, so I just went back in and filled those in with a little bit more product. Then for my brows, I'm going to start just by combing them out, getting them in the rough shape that I will want them once I put some product in. And I'm using this Prestige palette. It's got a light shade for the first half of my brow, and then a darker shade for the tail end. Really simple, really easy, nothing real complicated. And then I just comb those hairs out again, which helps blend them together and make it look a little bit more natural. And then I can just reshape it. Moving on to the face, I'm using this e.l.f. Poreless Primer, and I just put that all over my face. And then I used a CoverGirl True Match foundation in the lightest shade. I just took a really small amount and went down the center of my face and kind of like the T-zone, really. But just real lightly, and then after I applied it in those specific areas, I blended it out towards the outer portions of my face. So really light. And then I used my Maybelline Master Concealer just under my eyes for some extra coverage for those dark circles. I would pat it on and do just very light swiping motions in order to blend it in with the eyeshadow so that there were no clumps of shadow or concealer. Then I use my BH Cosmetics HD Studio Setting Powder. It is a tinted powder, and it is in the lightest shade that they carry. And that just went all over my face. They have a highlight and contour kit called Forever Nude, and that is what I used. I started out with the middle shade. It's a warm brown shade, and I just used that as a bronzer. And then right over those same areas, we're talking contours right underneath the cheekbones, a little bit in the temples, around the top hairline of my head, my forehead, and a little bit under the chin and down the sides of my nose. Those are the places I applied both the bronzer and the contour. The contour color is a little bit cooler of a shade, which creates a more natural looking shadow, and then the bronzer just helps give a little extra color to my very, very pale face. But be proud of that paleness. And then I just blend that all out and together. And as you can tell, I was struggling with my hair today too. It just kept getting in my way, so don't mind the ridiculous combing that I'm doing. Then I'm using the blush from this palette, and it's a great color. It's just sort of a pinkish, mauvish color with gold flecks in it. So it ties in very nicely with this peachy, summery look. And then I just blended that out a little bit. I didn't apply too much, so it was a fairly quick blending. And then there's a yellow shade in this palette for underneath your eyes. I really had some dark circles this morning, so this really helped cover up those blues and purples. Then I went in with the highlight shade in this palette and just dusted that on with one of my small fan brushes. And wow, that's a runaway hair. Then I use this Urban Decay lipstick. I will include its official name somewhere in the video. I don't have it with me right now, and I can't remember what it's called. But it's a very nice, sort of soft, on me, it's fairly natural. I mean, you can tell it's a lipstick, but the color isn't anything too crazy, and that's kind of what I was going for. You can use any gold shadow, really. I just happen to have this one on hand. Um, this, I just thought it would be fun to add a sort of rose gold element. And that's the finished look. So I hope that you enjoyed it and that you think it's a fun look for summer. Here's a close-up of the eyes for you. I had a lot of fun making it. It was just a lot of fun to play around with these summer colors, and I feel like these two will work great this summer. So have a great day. Thank you so, so, so much for watching, and enjoy your summer.